Magandang gabi sa inyo, sir.
Good evening, magandang gabi, General Jerry at saka our host, Andy. Good evening to
Good evening,
everyone.
sir.
Yes.
Oo. Sir, ang understanding ko, sir, ay galing ka rin po sa Air Force, sir, ano? At saka ikaw ay member din po ng PMA ba, sir, or ng flying school?
Yeah, I'm a graduate of PMA class 1972, and
Sir.
I joined the Air Force, and then I was assigned with the 6th Tactical Fighter Squadron sa Basa Air Base, and then I transferred to Nichols Air Base noon, and I was flying helicopters, their UH-1Hs, and also I became the squadron commander of Air Intelligence, 301st Air Intelligence Squadron. And in 1980, when I completed my 8-year service, I resigned and joined my family in Canada.
Ganun po, sir. Oo. So, galing pala kayo ng 5th Fighter Wing, sir. So, naabutan nyo, sir, yung Sabre jet natin, sir, F-86, yung F-5. Nailipad nyo ba ito, sir, yung mga aeroplanong ito?
Yes, not on the F-86F. I flew T-33 sa 105 CCTS, and then our class was directly moved to F-5. Kulang sila ng piloto noon, so I never flew the F-86F, although I wanted to fly that, but I never had the chance. So I was flying F-5, and which was the home of the Blue Diamonds at that time.
So, member pala kayo, sir, ng Blue Diamond, sir. Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations.
Oo, sir, oo. Talagang, ang kasama nyo, sir, ay baka naabutan nyo pa si, the Director General of CAAP, si Lieutenant General Raul Del Rosario, kung naabutan nyo po, sir.
Hindi na kami nagkaabutan ni General Del Rosario. Makasama ko noon ang instructor ko, si General Yap.
Si General Adelberto. Yep, sir.
Kasama kami noon. At saka ang mga kasama ko pa noon, si General Loben Abadia was our squadron commander. And, sino?
Yun yung glorious days ng kaandi ng Fifth Fighter Wing. Kumbaga pag nakita mo yung taga F5 or yung mga piloto ng Fifth Fighter Wings, talagang iba yung dating nila eh. Sila yung dati mga piloto na pag ano ko lang kung pwedeng sabihin to na if you're not one of us, you do not talk to us.
Yeah. Well, mga magagandang lalaki yung mga kasama ko eh.
Ganun, sir, no? Di ba, sir? No? Don't talk to us kung you're not.
Maganda noon kasi suportado tayo ng military aid program ng US Air Force noon eh. So it was very, very good at that time. Sa Clark, so we always go to Clark at that time.
Yes, sir. So we're happy, sir, to see you here and for joining our program. Si Ka Andy Vital is also a reserve officer in the Air Force with the rank of Major ka na ba, Ka Andy, ano?
Kapitan pa lang.
Kapitan.
Bata pa tayo.
Pero
Pareho lang tayo, Andy, kasi nag-resign ako as a captain.
Ganun.
So, pareho lang tayo. Yeah.
Opo.
So, yes, sir. Mamaya mga kaibigan, wag din po kayong aalis sapagkat makakasama po natin si Lieutenant Colonel Demi Ferrer. Pag-uusapan naman po natin yung tungkol po sa Cebu Aviation Summit. Malaking activity rin ito na mangyari po sa Cebu. So, ang dami mga pag-uusapan natin dito. Pero unahin mo lang natin Ka-Andy, si Sir Med para ipaliwanag sa atin, ibalita sa atin itong very exciting na plano na magtayo ng Air Mobile Rescue na service sa Pilipinas. At ang grupo nila, Sir Med, ang in charge dyan sa pagtatayo na yan. So, sir, nasaan na tayo dito sa planong ito? Ito ba ay naitayo na ho or itatayo pa lang? Plano pa lang ho ba ito, Sir Med?
Itatayo pa lang to. So I've been working with the government and also our investors and partners. So it takes a while to get everybody together, especially wala tayong law on EMS. Wala pa tayong law on EMS eh. For the last 20 years, there has been a bill submitted pero wala pa rin. So it's difficult kasi we don't have the standard. We don't have the proper certification of aircraft, ambulance, and training of our paramedics and doctors.
Oo.
EMS is Emergency Medical Service, ganun po?
Yes, correct.
Ah.
EMS.
Wala pa tayong batas pa niyan, ka Jerry? Ang alam ko, kahit paano nakakapag-professionalize tayo, nakakapag-license ng mga EMS, pero wala pala tayong batas.
Wala talaga. Yun ang sa research nila, Sir Med, yun yung lumalabas eh. Pero anong ginagawa nyo ngayon, Sir Med, para itong binabanggit nyong kakulangan ay magawa natin? Meron ho ba kayong mga nilapitan na ho na congressman, mga senador na pwede ho mag-sponsor nito sapagkat alam ko sa panahon ngayon na tayo ay maunlad na rin ng bansa. Hindi naman natin maitatanggi na maunlad na tayo. Ito yung mga kinakailangan na kapabilidad, di ba ka, Andy? Ito yung mga klaseng
Yes.
kakayahan na dapat mayroon tayo. At kung gusto natin maka-attract ng napakaraming mga turista, isa rin ito sa mga pwede nating ipagmalaki, Sir Med.
Yeah, alam mo, Jerry, marami na akong sinulatan na mga government officials natin because last year, pag-organize ko rito, I came here last year. Ang purpose talaga was an NGO, non-profit. And I don't think that's possible right now in the Philippines. Our culture is not like in North America, wherein pag hihingi ka ng tulong, maraming lalapit ka agad, especially on financial response, right? So it's been challenging. So early this year, we decided we'll just go private and go from there. I think it's easier. And then later on, once established, then the government can see that that's a time we can, have collaboration with them because ang key rito is will be the responding for 911 system of this country, right?
Candy, baka mayroon kang
Yeah.
dagdag na By the way, Candy, pasalamatan ko nga pala ang aking classmate na si Colonel Bong Oliva kasi kaya ko nakilala si Sir, nakuha ko yung cellphone number niya dahil kay Bong Oliva, dahil doon sa pag-attend namin sa Champagne flight ni Lieutenant General Buka, Fernil Buka, nagkita kami doon. Tapos sa pag-uusap namin, nabanggit niya itong project nito. Sabi ko, ang ganda niyan, Bong. Baka pwede naman na ma-interview kung sino ang author niyan, yung nag-orchestrate niyan, yung arkitekto niyan. At nabanggit nga Sir Med. So on that day ay nakuha ko yung number ni Sir at nag-usap kami. Kaya kasama natin siya ngayon, Ka-Andy.
Yes. Buti naman at nakasama natin si Sir. Pero gusto ko maitanong Sir Med Velasco. Sa Amerika, sa Canada siguro, ang Air Mobile Rescue ay kumbaga standard na yan doon eh. Pagka malayo ang distansya ng kailangan rescue, gagamitan ng air asset. Dito sa atin, wala pa tayo masyadong alam, kundi yung Air Force minsan nagtatakbo ng pasyente o kaya may private companies na merong helicopter na nagtatakbo ng pasyente. Sa inyong pananaw, anong mga sitwasyon ang kailangan na meron tayong ganitong klase ng capability na air mobile rescue sa Pilipinas? Of course, unang-una, archipelago po tayo, magkakahiwalay na island, dagat, maraming dagat, at hiwa-hiwalay na isla. Isa po yun. Pero ano pang ibang mga sitwasyon na inyong nakikita para sabihin kailangan natin ito?
Right. Alam mo, Andy, maganda yung punto mo dyan sa tanong na yan. At maraming magagawa ito kasi integrated ito. It will be air, ground, and sea ambulances. And we will be serving yung mga underserved or rural areas, right? Within, we will position different areas where the helicopter is. We will determine that. And the guy who's helping me, that is yun nga si Colonel Oliva, si Bong Oliva has been very helpful in helping me trying to organize this. And sa tanong mo, Andy, isa sa kagaya sa Metro Manila, grabe ang traffic natin. Nakikita niyo ang pag-traffic dyan. Nagsasiren yon pero wala masyadong magawa, di ba? I'll give you an example anong magagawa namin. Let's say we have a patient, it's a stroke or a heart attack sa Antipolo, right? And they want to go to, let's say, Makati Medical Hospital or St. Luke's sa BGC, right? Ang dispatch namin, pagtingin nila na gano'n, nakapula lahat ng kalsada, right? Pag nakapula na yun, traffic na yun, huwag mong patakbuhin yun. So ang gagawin namin yan, dispatch, sasabihin na lang doon sa ground ambulance, you go to the nearest school ground or helipad, and our helicopter will go down there, will pick up the patient, and we'll fly the patient from there to the rooftop helipad of Makati Medical. So we believe in the golden hour, right? With
Yes.
any heart attack, stroke, trauma, pag nagawa mo yun, na tulungan mo yun within the hour, the success rate and full recovery is better than pag after the golden hour. So we believe in that, and I've experienced that for the last 30 years in Canada, in the Middle East, and we've helped. Like I've worked with air ambulance there for, as I said, 30 years, and we've helped thousands of Canadians. And I said, if I can help Canadians, there's no reason why I can't help the Philippines, right? I think we need it here more than especially like the West Philippine Sea. Mga sundalo natin, may mga pamilya na ron, mga fisher folks natin. Pag nagkaroon sila ng aksidente dyan, walang makakatulong doon. That's a long time. Yung boat dyan is 24 hours or 48 hours pa. So we need these helicopters. Yung point mo, Andy, na puro islands tayo. So let's say our helicopters, or all helicopters in Luzon and Mindanao will be on skids, right? Because we use it for air rescue. But sa Visayas, lahat ng ambulance, air ambulance, that a helicopter will have pop-out floats. Because just in case we'll have an engine failure, lulutang pa rin yun sa kwan. Because if you remember right, because I was following here, I was still in Canada, a year and a half ago, there was a medevac helicopters that went down near Balabac in South Palawan there, right? It was a Gazelle helicopter, I guess, with a patient and 5 people, including the pilots there. We was never recovered because they were flying over water without any pop-out float. So, pagbagsak noon, nag-engine failure, wala, hindi lumutang yun, hindi na-recover yung helicopter at saka, any bodies there anyway. So, we are aware of this. Medevac operations on helicopters or even fixed wing is one of the riskiest aviation, operations, right? Daming aksidente dyan. So, to me, with my experience, I know how to mitigate those risks and how we train our pilots and our paramedics and everybody. So, I am very confident because if we can't have a very safe operation here, we might as well not do it, right? So here in Canada, we've operated for about 40 years with no incident at all because of the safety mitigations that we've done for the last 40 years.
So, ang ginawa po ninyo sa Canada ba is that government outfit or commercial din, private din?
Okay, in Canada, every province has a different system, right? So British Columbia, it's for-profit, it's a private, and they have contract with the government. In Western Canada, which consists of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, they have what we call the STARS program. It's a non-profit. It's an NGO, and that's what I was trying to replicate here in the Philippines because I think that's the best.
Yes.
But it's very difficult because the response from people who are supposed to was not. So I've been here. I thought I will be here only for 3 months. Organize this. Let Bong Oliva run this show. Go home to Canada and enjoy my retirement. No, I'm here more than a year now. I'm trying to organize this because I'm very, very determined to make this fly because we
Maganda,
need
maganda
we
po
need
yung
it.
maganda po yung inyong determinasyon, sir. Si General Zamudio, director ng flying school sa Philippines ka, siguro isa yan sa mga pwede ninyong i-explore. Di ba General Jerry? Pwede kayong makatulong para
Oo.
mapadali itong planong ito.
Yeah. Actually, nakikita ko dito, Andy, is i-create yung mataas na awareness ng pangailangan natin ng emergency mobile rescue na service nito, yung capability nito, especially doon sa mga binanggit ni Sir Med. So, ang dapat ito palagi ito na pag-uusapan para unang-una, inabanggit nga ni Sir Med, para nakita ko na ang hirap man magtayo kung wala kang kapital. Kay Sir Med, ang nakita ko sa kanya is yung experience niya sa Canada, gusto rin lang makita dito sa Pilipinas. Pero ang tanong, sino mag-fund nito? Sino ang saan kukunin yung pera nito? So, maraming mga negosyante sa Pilipinas na alam ko kaya nilang tumulong, kaya lang wala sa radar nila, wala sa awareness nila.
Hindi
So
nila alam.
hindi nila alam na kinakailangan pala natin ito. Kaya itatanong ko lang kay Sir Med ngayon na nasaan na tayo ngayon, sir, doon sa binabalak nyo na maitayo itong air mobile rescue na capability na ito? May mga nag-signify na huwa ng intensyon at baka pwedeng may paliwanag nyo sa amin yung konsepto kung ito ay maitatayo na ito. Paano ba ito tatakbo? Ano ang operations nito, sir? At saan ito ilalagay nyo, sir? All over the country ba, sir, ang pinaplano ninyo?
Dahil magandang tanong yan, General. Dahil sa nagbago nga yung plano namin na magiging private stock corporation. So which we started last January, and so we have to organize that, i-register sa SEC. So ang concept namin dito is a membership para makuberan lahat. We just don't like to have the wealthy people, like, who can afford the helicopter or the airplanes, right? Because my experience, I was here in 1999 to 2001. And this one, Philippine Air Ambulance, that was registered. We were operating 2 helicopters sa Northern Luzon, right? And I don't know if you heard about one night an accident in 2001 November. There was an accident, vehicular accident in Poso Robio, Pangasinan. And it was the son of Dolphy and Alma Moreno, Bandolf. So we flew at night. Our operation is 24/7, right? So ang pilot na inassign ko noon was si Captain Albano, Noelo Albano, class 79 sa PMA at sa flying school. He was flying, the Air Force he flew. So he flew to Poso Robio, Pangasinan and picked up Bandolf and flew him to the rooftop helipad of Makati Medical. And he survived. We thought he was not going to survive. So I think Bandolf is now a counselor in Parañaque, somewhere there. So to me, because they paid for that flight, right? I don't like to have a medevac here wherein, let's say, a whole bus accidentally, and we go down there and we start asking the victims, can you afford our helicopters, fly? So we close that down, and that's not our concept. This time, anybody in the Philippines, that's why through 911, with collaboration with the government, help with the government, we'd like to react to every accident and every emergency. So what we have done is it will be a subscription, really, really cheap, 1,000 per year, so that we can cover everybody. Now, I know it's going to be challenging because, 1,000, that helicopter is not cheap, right? Just to buy it. So we have other contracts that we have to do, like with the National Disasters Risk Reduction for air rescue.
Council, yes,
During typhoons, we average about 20 typhoons in this country here. So what we can do is we can do hoist operation. Our helicopters will have hoist, and we don't have to land and pick up patients, pick up people who are stranded, who are sick, and bring them to the hospital. Because right now we don't have that capability. My experience in Canada, in Western Canada, is cruise ships that goes to Alaska or goes to California that goes in there. If there's a heart attacks or accident or stroke victim in the cruise ship, they call us, and we fly even at midnight, at nighttime. We look for the cruise ship, land there, pick up the patient, and fly them to Vancouver General Hospital. And we've saved hundreds, if not thousands, of people for the last 40 years. So I'd like to be able to do that here in the Philippines. If I can help, as I said, Canadians, I should be able to help Filipinos. I think this has been my dream. And I said when I retire, I'd like to introduce it. So I need your support, like you guys, because one of the issues here I found was really educating the public. They have to know that, it's very important, this one here, because our helicopters can operate within the 300 kilometers radius. So even those in the mountains, let's say in Palawan, in Bukidnon, in the Mindanao there, if they can have cell phone, most people have cell phone. You phone us our dispatch, we will be there. We will be there. We will we will save them. Because some of our brothers and sisters, Filipinos, some of them in the mountains never saw a hospital in their lives. And, they're born, they die, never saw a hospital, never saw a doctor. I think this one here, this air ambulance is called MICO. It's Mobile Intensive Care Unit. So what we're trying to do is bringing the hospital to the patient, to the communities, right? And because it will be like an ICU. We're able to do blood transfusion. We carry different types of blood. We have, all the necessary equipment which a tertiary ICU hospital has. So
Okay.
it's very important for us to educate our people. Thank you.
Tandy, dahil doon sa mga binanggit ni Sir Med, talagang kinakailangan bumalik sa programa natin. Ano?
Yes, oo.
So Sir Med, maraming salamat sir. Parting statement na lang po.
Well, thank you. Thank you. This is a big help, as I said, and I would like to, continue having have your program there so that people will know this, because we'll be approaching them. We will also be educating them, and also I'm calling all our government officials who are involved, in the health, in our health community or universal healthcare. I think we need this emergency for EMS. If you want to have a complete universal healthcare, the EMS is the first line of defense. And
Yes.
so your program is very helpful on this project. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Salamat,
Thank you, sir.